Junie B. Jones, Toothless Wonder by Barbara Park. Chapter 1, Prizes. Friday. Dear First Grade Journal, today we are having a speaker in room 1. She is going to tell us all about recycling. Recycling is when you wash your trash, I believe. Mr. Scary said to write in our journals till the speaker gets here. Only, I don't even feel like writing today, because I have a loose tooth, that's why. And that thing is driving me crazy. Also, every time I write in this journal, I have to look up words in the dumb dictionary. Except, sometimes Mr. Scary spells the words on the board for us. And then I have to cross out my mistakes. Plus also, I erase holes in my papers. Spelling is not a breeze, I tell you. That is all I feel like writing today. I'm done with this thing, and I mean it. From Junie B, first grader. I put down my pencil and I opened my mouth. Then I reached in my finger and I wiggled my tooth. That thing had been loose for a very long time, only no matter how hard I wiggled it, it still won't come out. I pulled on it a teensy bit. Ow! That hurt, you dumb bunny tooth, I said. May turned her head and looked at me. May sits next to me in room 1. She is not a pleasure. You shouldn't say dumb bunny, Junie B. Jones, she said. Dumb bunny is not a nice word. I raised my eyebrows at her. Oh, really? I said. Well, thank you for telling me that, dumb bunny May. Just then, May's face got puffy and red. Don't say that word, I told you, she hollered. My teacher stood up at his desk. Problem back there, girls? He said. Yes, Mr. Scary, said May. There's always a problem back here, and her name is Junie Jones. I stamped my foot. B, May, I said. B, 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 B. You're always forgetting my B. Mr. Scary closed his eyes. Please, girls, can't we just have one morning without any spats? I looked surprised at that man. But I didn't even spat, Mr. Scary, I said. My mother doesn't let me spat, not even on the sidewalk. After that, I went up to his desk, and I smiled very cute. I have a loose tooth, I said. Would you like to see it, Mr. Scary, huh? Would you? I opened my mouth and wiggled it for him. See how loose it is? It is a loosey-goosey, isn't it? I said. He smiled. Wow, it really is loose, Junie B, he said. And it's a top tooth, too. Losing a top tooth is the best. I looked puzzled. It is? How come it's the best, Mr. Scary, I asked. Is a top tooth funner than a bottom tooth, do you mean? Because last year I lost a bottom tooth, and I didn't actually get a kick out of it. My teacher did a chuckle. But when you lose a top tooth, your smile looks really cute, Junie B, he said. And when your new tooth comes in, you'll start looking like a big kid. I did a gasp at that news. A big kid? Really? I said. I'm going to look like a big kid? Mr. Scary nodded. Sure you are, he said. Here, I'll show you what I mean. He looked around the room. Class, does anyone in here have their big top teeth yet? If so, please raise your hand, he said. All of a sudden, the children looked and looked at each other, but no one raised their hand. Mr. Scary was surprised. Really? He said. No kidding. No one in our class has lost a top front tooth, huh? He turned around and shook my hand. Well, congratulations, Junie B. Jones, he said. It looks like you're going to be the first person in room 1 with a big top tooth. I felt thrilled. Thank you, I said. Then I skipped back to my seat, and I sat down real proud. May did a huffy breath at me. Big deal. What's so special about losing a top tooth, she said. Everyone in our whole room is going to lose their top teeth, Junie Jones. It's not like you're the only one, you know. I did a huffy breath right back at her. Yes, May, I know I'm not the only one, I said, but I am the first one, and the first one is the winner, so there, ha-ha on you. May crossed her arms. Well, if you're the winner, then where's your prize, huh? Junie Jones, I don't see a prize, do you? I tapped my fingers, kinda stumped. Then I hurried back to my teacher's desk, and I patted him on the shoulders. Okay, here's the thing, I said. The children are wondering where's my prize for being the tooth winner, and so how would you like to handle this situation? Mr. Scary did not answer right away. Finally, he shrugged. Well, the truth is, there aren't any prizes, he said. I wasn't exactly running a contest, you know. Yes, I know, I said, but I bet you could still come up with a little something to make me happy. I pointed at his desk drawer. I bet there's something in there, I said. Teachers always have good stuff in their desk drawers, right? And so why don't you take a little look-see? Mr. Scary ran his fingers through his hair. Then at last he opened his drawer. Whoa, is that a stapler I see there? I said. A stapler would be good, don't you think? I could really pound that thing, I bet. And so if you just hand it over, I will be on my way. Mr. Scary shook his head. No, Junie B, he said. No stapler. I looked once more. Hey, hold the phone, I said. Is that Tom's I'm looking at? I leaned closer. Yes, it is Tums, Mrs. Scary. You've got Tums just like my Grandpa Miller, and so I bet you suffer from gas and bloating. Am I correct? Mr. Scary quick closed the drawer. Then he went to the supply closet and he got out a piece of shiny silver paper and he scribbled a star. He cut it out and pinned it on my shirt. There, he said. That's your prize for your tooth, okay? You get to wear a shiny star for being the winner. Now please go back to your seat. I looked down at my star. Yeah, only I don't actually think this is your best work, I said, kind of quiet. Mr. Scary pointed to my desk. He was not having a good morning, I think. I went back and sat down. May sneaked a peek at my star. I tried to act proud of it. Well. What do you know? A prize, I said. May did a mad breath and quick turned away. I looked down at my star again. This time, it looked prettier, I think. Chapter 2. Uncle Lou. The speaker came at 10 o'clock. Her name was Miss Chris. Miss Chris told us all about recycling. Also, she showed us a movie. It was called Dan the Soda Can. It was very thrilling, I tell you, because Dan the soda can lived in a soda machine at a gas station. Then one day, a lady brought him to drink. Only too bad for Dan, because after the lady drank his soda, she threw him right out her car window, and Dan got his can all dented. But hooray, a cop saw the lady littering, and he gave her a big fat ticket. Then a can man took Dan to a recycling center, and the man got cash money. Plus, Dan got fixed up good as new. And bingo, he turned into Dan the orange juice can. It was a miracle, I tell you. Room 1 clapped and clapped at that happy ending. Then Miss Chris passed around stickers of Dan the soda can for us to stick to our shirts. And the sticker said, "Recycling makes sense." Ha! Get it? Sense sounds like sense. And that is a good one, I think. After that, all of us went to lunch and recess, and we were still in happy moods. On the playground, Jose and Lenny and Shirley asked to see my loose tooth. Then pretty soon the other children wanted to see it too. And so finally, I stood them all in a row and I let them look real close. After they looked, I walked down the row and I showed them how far I can bend it. Herb clapped and clapped. Jose and Lenny whistled. Sheldon tried to pick me up. That is not a normal reaction, I think. You're going to look cool when it finally comes out, Junie B, said Herb. See, said Jose, you're going to look really cool, like a hockey player, I bet. Yeah, said Lenny. Hockey players almost never have any teeth. Neither do kickboxers, said Shirley. Maybe you'll look like a kickboxer, Junie B. Just then, Sheldon did a sigh. I just hope you don't look like my toothless Uncle Lou, he said. My toothless Uncle Lou never brushed or flossed, and then all of his teeth fell out. I made a sick face. Sheldon shrugged. Well, it's not like he's totally toothless, he said. He still has one bottom tooth left. It's kind of yellow, but he can still bite an apple. After that, Sheldon walked away. I watched him go. Then I sat down in the grass, and I tried not to think of toothless Uncle Lou. After school, me and Herb rode the bus home together. We sit with each other each and every single day, except not on Saturdays or Sundays or weekends. Me and Herb talk about lots of stuff on the bus. Only today, I didn't feel like talking, hardly, because I was still upset about looking like Uncle you-know-who. I slumped down in my seat, very glum. What if I look like a weirdo, I said. Huh, Herb? What if I look like Toothless Uncle Lou? Herbert patted me. Don't worry. You won't, probably. I kept on worrying. Yeah, only today is Friday, Herb, I said, and so by Monday my tooth will already be out, I bet. And so what if I come to school looking like Toothless Uncle Lou? And then all of room 1 starts making fun of me. And they form a circle around me, and they laugh and skip and throw fruit. Then all of a sudden I did a gasp. 'Cause an even worser problem popped in my head. I grabbed Herb's shirt. Oh no, Herb. Oh no, I said. What if I don't even look like myself on Monday? Not even a tiny bit, I mean. And then I get on this bus and you don't even recognize me. And so you pass right by my seat. And then I have to sit by myself. All alone and toothless. Herb looked down at his shirt. He said to please take my hands off of him. He smoothed himself out. Maybe you should look on the bright side, Junie B, he said. Even if all of that bad stuff happens, which it won't, probably, you'll still end up with a bunch of money from the tooth fairy, right? And that's good, isn't it? As soon as he said that, chill bumps came on my skin and my stomach got flutterflies in it. I quick looked out the window so Herb couldn't see my face. 'Cause guess what? The tooth fairy is a whole other can of worms. Chapter 3. Ow. I walked home from my bus stop very slow. Walking is good for thinking, I think. Talking is good for thinking too. I just wish I wasn't the first one. That's all, I said out loud to myself. I wish the other children in room 1 were losing their teeth too. Then all of us would look toothless together, and no one would throw fruit. I did a big breath at me. Yeah, only that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of, I said. 'Cause you can't make other children have loose teeth, Junie B. I rolled my eyes. Yeah, only I already know that, Junie B, I said. But I really don't want to be first, and so why can't my tooth just stay in my mouth a little longer? That's what I would like to know. I crossed my arms at myself. 'Cause you keep wiggling it, that's why, I said. Maybe if you didn't wiggle it, it would get tight again. Did you ever think of that, huh? Did you? I walked and walked some more. Then all of a sudden I did a gasp. 'Cause I did think of that, ha! I ran to my house speedy quick. My grandpa Frank Miller was babysitting my fussy brother named Ollie. Grandpa Miller, I know what to do about my tooth. I know what to do about my tooth, I hollered real happy. Grandpa Miller was bouncing Ollie on his lap. Ollie was wearing his drool bib. Also, he was slobbering and chewing on his arm. Ollie would not be popular in school, probably. Mother says he is drooly and fussy because he is getting teeth soon. She is kidding herself, I think. Just then, Ollie started to cry. Grandpa Miller looked weary of that boy. I took Ollie away from him. Don't worry, Grandpa. I know how to calm this baby down, I said. After that, I patted Ollie's back very nice. Then I hummed real soft in his ear, and I put him in the hall closet. Grandpa quick got him up out of there. He put Ollie in his playpen, and he gave him animal crackers. Animal crackers are crackers that make babies stop crying. Also, I enjoy an occasional cracker myself. After Ollie stopped fussing, Grandpa Miller came back in the kitchen, and he put me on his lap. Okay, little girl, I'm ready to listen to your news now, he said. What were you saying about your tooth? Did it get any looser at school today? I clapped my hands together. That's what I was going to tell you about, Grandpa, I said. 'Cause at school, I found out that I am the first person in room 1 to lose a top front tooth. And so, at first I felt proud about that news. Only then I got nervous. On account of who wants to look like Toothless Uncle Lou. That's why. And so then I had a long talk with myself. And hooray, hooray, I decided not to lose my tooth after all. My grandpa raised his eyebrows at me. Really? He said. You're not going to lose your tooth, huh? Do you really think you can do that, honey? Yes, I said. I know I can do it, Grandpa, 'cause all I have to do is not wiggle it anymore, and then it would get real tight in my mouth again. I'm sure of it. I'm positive. I reached in my mouth and touched my tooth very light with my finger. Yep, I said. I can feel it. It's tighter already. I opened my mouth and pointed. See it, Grandpa? See how tight it's getting? Grandpa Miller squinted his eyes. Gee, honey, I don't know, he said. It still looks pretty loose to me. Then, without even asking, he reached in my mouth and he started to wiggle it. No, I yelled. No, no, no. I snapped my mouth shut. Ow, said Grandpa. He pulled out his finger. Ow, I said right back, 'cause I felt a pinch, that's why. I poked all around with my tongue. Something did not feel right in there. My heart started to pound very fast. I held my breath. Then I opened my mouth kind of sickish, and I spit my tooth right into his hand. Chapter 4. Freako. I ran and ran all over the house. Oh no, I shouted. Oh no, oh no. My Grandpa Frank Miller knocked my tooth out. My Grandpa Frank Miller knocked my tooth out. Grandpa ran after me. No, I didn't. Of course I didn't, Junie B, he said. Your tooth came out when you bit down on my finger. I kept running and shouting, I look like Uncle Lou. I look like Uncle Lou. Help, help, help. I look like Uncle Lou. I zoomed to the front door and opened it wide. 911, 911, my tooth's knocked out. My tooth's knocked out. Grandpa quick picked me up and carried me back inside. Then he took me to the bathroom and he gave me a paper cup with water. Rinse and spit, he said. I did what he said, only that's when the worstest thing of all happened, 'cause my spit water turned pink. I did a gasp at that sight. Blood, blood, there's blood in my spit, I hollered some more. Grandpa Miller covered his ears. Please, Junie B, stop the screeching. After that, he took an aspirin. Plus also, he ate 2 Tums. I kept on rinsing and spitting. Then finally, my spit water turned regular. Whew, I said, that was a close one. I was almost out of blood. Grandpa bit down next to me and smiled. Well, let's have a look, he said. I opened my mouth for him. He looked in and did a chuckle. Then he lifted me up to the mirror so I could see too. I quick closed my mouth again because I was nervous to see myself, of course. My tongue felt my tooth hole. It felt very roomy in there. Well, said Grandpa Miller, aren't you going to look, honey? It looks cute, Junie B. It really does. My heart pounded and pounded. Then fast as a wink, I opened my lips and I did a little peek at my mouth. I quick closed my eyes again. 'Cause what do you know? A freako. Put me down, Grandpa, I said. Put me down right now. I don't want to look at myself again. I don't. Grandpa Miller put me down. Just then, my nose started to sniffle very much, and my eyes got tears in them. I hate me, I said. I hate the way I look. Grandpa blew my nose on toilet paper. I'm never going to look at myself again, I said. Not ever, ever, never. And I mean it. Grandpa bent down next to me again. I want you to listen to me, little girl, he said. I would never lie to you, Junie B. You look every bit as cute without your tooth as you did with it. He gave me a hug. Your new smile is wonderful, he said. You didn't even give it a chance, honey. You really need to look at it again. Honest, you do. He ruffled my hair. Do it for me, okay? Just give yourself one more chance. I rocked back and forth on my feet very slow, 'cause I needed to think this over. That's why. Finally, I did a big breath. Oh, okay, Grandpa, I said. If you really want to lift me up there again, I guess I will let you, but I'm only doing this to be nice. Grandpa Miller patted my head. You're very kind, he said. After that, he lifted me back up to the mirror. Very slow, I opened my mouth again, and I peeked at my new tooth hole. Try smiling, said Grandpa. You'll love your new smile. I know you will. I did a nervous breath. Then I smiled at myself kind of shy. See, said Grandpa Miller. See how cute it looks? I didn't answer him. Instead, I made another face at myself, and then another one, and then another one. Pretty soon, I tried every face in the book. Finally, Grandpa winked at me. So what do you think, little girl? He said, How do you think you look? I smiled again, kind of shy. I think I look kind of fascinating, Frank, I said. Grandpa Miller put me back on the floor. Then he went to the kitchen, and he got a stool. He brought it back to the bathroom. He helped me up to the top step. I stared at myself till Mother came home. Chapter 5. The fairy. That night we had festivities. Festivities is when my grandpa and grandma come over and all of us eat cake. Grandma Helen Miller made the cake herself. She put a big smiley face on the top. Only that is not all, 'cause the smiley face had a tooth missing, just like me. I laughed and laughed at that silly thing. Then I reached in my pocket and I got my tooth, and I passed it all around the table. "Oh, that's a beaut, Junie B," said Grandma Miller. "I know it, Grandma. I know it is a beaut," I said real proud. "I can't wait to take it to school for show and tell. The children are going to love this thing." Daddy looked strange at me. "Oh, gee, I don't know, honey," he said. "I'm not really sure you should take your tooth to school." Mother shook her head. "No, Junie B, that's definitely not a good idea," she said. "And besides, you won't even have your tooth on Monday, remember? You have to leave it for the tooth fairy tonight." Just then, my skin got chill bumps again, and the flutterflies came back in my stomach, 'cause I know stuff about the fairy. That's why. My voice felt kind of shaky. "Yeah, only what if I don't want to leave my tooth for the fairy, Mother?" I said. "What if I just want to take it to show and tell, and that's all?" Mother shook her head again. "No, Junie B, no show and tell," she said. "Taking a tooth to show and tell is just, well, it's just disgusting," said Daddy. "Yes," said Mother, "disgusting." I whined at those two. "No, it isn't," I said. "Lots of kids bring teeth to school. 'Cause one time Roger brought a shark's tooth, and he even let me and Herb put it right in our mouths. And then we looked like sharks too." I thought some more. "Plus another time Shirley brought her grandmother's dentures, and lots of us put those in our mouths too." Grandma Miller did a little gag. Only I don't actually know why. My grandpa patted my hand. "Just be glad she doesn't want to take the spit cup," he whispered. Just then my whole face lighted up, 'cause I have ears like a hawk, of course. The spit cup, I will take the spit cup," I hollered. I jumped down from my chair, and I zoomed to the bathroom. Then I got the spit cup out of the trash, and I dusted it off real good. "Good news, people," I shouted real loud. "There's still some blood around the edges." I quick ran back to show them. Grandma Miller closed her eyes at the sight. Then Mother put her head on the table and hid her face in her arms. The festivities were over, I believe. After Grandma and Grandpa Miller left, Mother took me into the bathroom, and we brushed our teeth real careful. Then I took my loose tooth out of my pocket, and I brushed that guy too. I held it up to the light. "Look," I said. "Look how shiny I made it." "I really wish I could take this tooth to school, Mother. I really, really wish that with all my might." Mother gave me a hug. "I know you do, Junie B, but it's still going to be fun to put it under your pillows tonight, isn't it?" She smiled. "I remember when I was a little girl, I couldn't wait to wake up in the morning and find out how much money the tooth fairy had left me." My skin got prickly at that name again. Also, sweaty came on my head. I thought and thought about what to do. Then finally I stood on my tiptoes, and I whispered in Mother's ear. "Yeah, only I know stuff about the fairy, Mother," I said. "I know the truth." Mother looked shocked at me. "The truth?" she said. "You know the truth?" "Yes," I whispered again. "I know the exact truth, Mother, 'cause last year Polly Allen Puffer told me the whole entire story." I took another big breath. Then I cupped my hands around her ear, and I talked even quieter. "The fairy isn't real," I said. "The tooth fairy is just pretend." Mother's eyes got real big and wide at me. "No," she said. "Yes," I whispered back. "Polly Allen learned it from his big brother. The tooth fairy isn't a fairy at all. She's actually a teensy little tooth witch." Mother's mouth came all the way open. "A tooth witch?" "Shh," I said. "We have to talk soft, Mother. If the tooth witch hears anyone telling her secret, she flies into their room at night and she pinches their cheeks." Mother covered her face with her hands. She was in shock, I believe. "Polly Allen's brother even saw the tooth witch," I said, "'cause one night he put a tooth under his pillow, and then he stayed awake all night, and he saw the tooth witch fly into his room on a teensy little toothbrush." "Oh my," said Mother. "I know it is, oh my," I said. "And that is not even the worstest part. 'Cause the witch walked right under his pillow, and she carried out his tooth, and then she chomped a big bite out of it, just like it was a little tooth apple." Mother made a noise behind her hands. I patted her very nice. I know how you feel, I said. This is very hard to hear. Finally, Mother took her hands away. But it doesn't really make sense, Junie B, she said. I mean, why would a little witch leave money under the pillow? A witch would never do something that nice, would she? I rolled my eyes way up to the ceiling, 'cause sometimes I have to explain everything to that woman. Of course she would, Mother. Don't you get it? The witch leaves money so that children think she's really a fairy. 'Cause if children don't think there's a fairy, they won't leave their teeth, right? And if they don't leave their teeth, the witch won't get any tooth apples. Mother closed her eyes very tight. Then all of a sudden, she opened up the bathroom door, and she ran right out of the room. She was taking it harder than I thought. To be continued.